Hello and welcome to the Capital OTB Stakes preview for the weekend of May 26th. Sully Crotty and Mike Callahan here as always. How are you, Mike?
What's going on, Sully? How you doing?
I'm
big
great.
Weekend?
Another good weekend here. And Monmouth's got a loaded card, and out west has got a really nice card as well. Holiday weekend racing, and then there's some good racing on the holiday as well. So, but we're going to stick with Saturday. And Monmouth, as I said, huge card at Monmouth Park this weekend. We have 2 stakes there, and then we have 3 at Santa Anita for their nice weekend as well. We'll start with race 11 at Monmouth Park. This is the Salvatore Mile, a Grade 3 event going a mile on the main track. Moving to race number 12 at Monmouth, this is the Monmouth, a Grade 2 event going a mile and 1/8 on the turf. Moving out to Santa Anita's 6th race. This is the Charles Winningham, a Grade 2 event going a mile and 1/4 on the turf. And then we'll go to race number 5. We'll look at race number 5. That is the Gold Cup, Santa Anita's Gold Cup. It's a Grade 1 event for $500,000. They're going a mile and 1/4 on the main track. And then we'll finish things off in the 8th race. This is the Gamely. This is a Grade 1 event. This is a $300,000 race going a mile and 1/8 on the turf.
All right, but we will go back to Monmouth on their big Saturday, starting out with that Grade 3 event, the Salvatore Mile. It's a $100,000 purse. 1 mile is the distance. Nice 7-horse field. Going in numerical order like we always do. Number 1, Papa Zulu, going out for Kelly Rubley. Carol Cedeno is going to be aboard. 20-1 on the morning line for this horse. And of recent, did win last time out in a 2 other than optional claimer at Parks, going a mile and 70 yards. Again, that was against significantly weaker. You try to make a case for this horse, you have to figure this horse is a stone cold closer. It's going to need a lot of pace in there. There does seem to be some with the 2, and also the number 4 in here, notably, that are going to show some pace. But to be honest, this horse, you try to state a case for it, buyers-wise, doesn't really fit in here. Again, just going to need a lot of things to go right and really the pace to fall apart.
Yeah, that's everything this horse is going to need. And there's other closers in this race as well that it would take before Papa Zula. I think that just how this horse has been running, it has improved since that first try at the optional claim 25 level at Laurel. Really has improved. Ran okay in the Poseidon at Gulfstream Park at 76-1, came in 4th. That was in January. So to me, I agree. I just think it's a little touch below, but really has been improving at the optional claim level. This is just a really tough ask.
Number 2 is Shaft of Light, going out for Jorge Navarro, and it has to be said, he is off to an unbelievable start at Monmouth so far. 23 starts, 11 victories, 48% as far as a win percentage goes. So you have to take a look at this horse. You're already going to take a look at this horse anyway. Yeah. 3-1 on the morning line last time out. Did race on the undercard of that Charlestown Classic day. Was really impressive, winning that race by 5 1/4. That was going 7 furlongs. Stretching out to a mile on Saturday, I don't think should be too much of a concern. Is going to have to deal with some early pressure from the 4 chip leader, who we'll talk about a little bit later on. But off of the last victory, searching for 3 in a row, the workout at Monmouth was really sharp. And again, going out for a sharp connection with Jorge Navarro, this horse is a must-use.
Yeah, you definitely need to use this horse in your mix somewhere, in multiples, definitely in the exacta, trifecta, superfecta. Horse loves the track, and does have a win here really impressively. And then the win at Gulfstream 2 races back, that was really impressive. And I know that was an optional claiming level, but the horse did the same thing next time out in a stakes race. So this horse, it's going to be tough to beat this horse, especially if it gets to the lead and no one presses.
Number 3 is Sunny Ridge, going out for Jason Service. Paco Lopez is going to be aboard. This horse last time out was coming off of about a 9-month layoff. Reappeared on April 20th of this year at Aqueduct, going a mile. Ran into a nice field. Ended up finishing 2nd, beating 3/4 of a length to a nice horse in Pioneer Spirit. I didn't think that was bad off of the layoff. I think 2nd off the layoff should be much more sharp. Seems to want to sit about 3rd or 4th going into the first turn and kind of track the leaders in here. Looks to get a nice setup with the 2 and the 4 kind of battling for the lead. If Paco can work out a trip in here at 5-2 on the morning line, this horse is another player as well.
Yeah, definitely a big player in here. I have the horse right in my mix. And as you said, off the layoff, I thought that was a good spot for this horse. This horse went off almost at 3-1. This horse loves the Monmouth surface. Paco's very familiar with the Monmouth surface. He's winning 35% of his mounts there, switching with Naira and with the Monmouth. But this horse is racing against some solid horses. And War Story, Matt King Cole, Gun Runner, Exaggerator. So this horse has raced much better and has been competitive in some of those races. So you're getting a nice price here at 5-2, which I think a lot of the attention is going to go on the odds board to Jorge Navarro and Shaft of Light.
Number 4 is Chip Leader. Todd Pletcher, Jose Ortiz are going to be aboard 3-1 on the morning line for this horse, who has been in the Todd Pletcher barn for a couple starts. A couple of those have been second place finishes. Notably, last time out to a horse that I know you like and Rated R Superstar. So really lost nothing in that defeat, going the mile and 8 distance in that Grade 3 Ben Ali. Again, this horse is going to show some speed, but again, is on the cutback where Shaft of Light's on the stretch out. So you have to believe that Shaft of Light with a little bit more inside position is going to take the lead in here. So you expect Chip Leader, who's normally on the lead, to probably be sitting second going into the first turn. Nonetheless, this horse did have 3 victories, 3, 4, and 5 starts back. The last 2 have been second place performances. This horse coming in very good form. How do you like this horse? Where do you see this horse kind of fitting on the cutback to a mile?
Yeah, I don't think the cutback will be an issue. You know, as you said, ranged extremely well. Went off as the favorite against a really nice field in the Ben Ali, and 2 starts back, had Drayden Van Dyke up, and ran, I thought, a very nice race behind a really nice horse in Camelot Kitten. Also, earlier on in the career, as you said, that winning streak was really impressive. Those were very nice performances at the Fairgrounds and at Arlington. Did lose by a nose at Churchill Downs. So, as you said, this horse is coming in razor-sharp form, and I think it's a really nice play here with Jose Ortiz at 3-1.
Number 5 is Indian Guide. 15-1 on the morning line. You're going to get Trevor McCarthy aboard. This horse predominantly has been running on the turf, but last time out did run over the slop here at Monmouth, going the mile and 16 distance. It was able to come from off the pace to win going clear by 2 1/4. Got a nice 78 buyer, but again, that was against significantly weaker. That was against the optional claiming company here, stepping up against Graded Stakes Company. It's going to face some really good horses that are coming in extremely good form. At 15-1, I think the price is fair. The horse has won over the surface, which is kind of an advantage compared to a couple in here, but is really going to get an acid test.
Definitely getting an acid test, and you know, you get McCarthy up. He's running the money 7 times in his 11 starts at Monmouth Park, which is nice. So this may be a horse you could use underneath, but I agree. I think just stepping up at the wrong time here. Looked okay against much weaker, but 2 starts back racing a stakes race at Gulfstream Park. Really, it didn't show too much there. And also racing a stakes race a couple starts back at Gulfstream Park. Really didn't show anything there either with Jose Bautista aboard. So to me, I agree. I just think it's a little bit below. Really was not impressed as an even money favorite in that optional claimer last time.
Number 6 is Paige McKinney going out for Mary Epler, and you're going to get Kara Miles aboard. 7-2 on the morning line for this horse, who to me is classified as the hot and cold. I know we talked about that last week with Irish Warcry, who ran a super race to win that Pimlico Special in impressive fashion. Paige McKinney either wins or doesn't run at all. If you take a look at the form of this horse, win 2 back, very impressive, went clear, won that race by 4 lengths last time out. Ran in the Grade 2 event down at Gulfstream Park, ran a 4th even place finish against Conquest Biggie, Always Dreaming, and Tommy Macho. Again, if you're kind of trending, this horse would probably on a rebound, would be a horse to use in here. But again, just with these hot and cold theory type horses, not really sure what we're going to see. Is going to be coming from off the pace. If this horse can rebound and run that 2-back race, well, this horse did get a 99 buyer, Sears player, but are we going to see that on Saturday?
Yeah, you know, just too hot and cold for me here. I think too many other horses in this race are running extremely consistent and have been running consistently for the last couple of starts. This horse, again, I get the hot and cold feeling like you. I couldn't use in my mix. Too short of a price as well for me. But there's a nice closing kick from this horse, so this horse could be coming late at a little bit of a price, could be ignored on the odds board.
Number 7 is Great Stuff going on for David Jacobson. Joe Bravo is going to be aboard. 9-2 on the morning line for this horse. And again, we've seen this horse a bunch of times. Actually raced when we went down to Wood Memorial Day. Raced in that Grade 1 Carter against Army Mule. Again, Army Mule was terrific in that race. Great Stuff finished 3rd in that race, the Grade 1 Carter last time out. Raced in the Run Happy at Belmont going 6 furlongs. Finished an even 4th that day to Westwood and Skylar Scramjet. On the stretch out to a mile, you have to believe this horse is going to be closer to the pace on the stretch out with the fact that this horse has been sprinting predominantly. Again, just not sure how this horse fits in here. Been in the money 21 of 30 starts, but really hasn't won in about 6 starts, and even then wins kind of sporadically, so you can't really use this horse on top, but wouldn't be surprised to see this horse fill out the tries and supers.
Yeah, I have the horse in the tries and super mix, definitely. And this horse, as you said, raced against some 3 really nice horses the last 3 starts. Army Mule, Westwood, Skylar Scramjet was in there as well, and Conquest Panthera 2 starts back. So this horse is raced against some solid horses. I think if it reverts back to how it ran at Aqueduct, even in that Carter handicap, especially in the toboggan, this horse can make some noise here at 9-2 for David Jacobson, who's winning 12% of his graded stake starts.
Now this is an interesting race, so I'm going to be interested to see what you have here as your top selection, and any horses in the top 3.
Yeah, I went 4, 3, 2, and 4, 3, 7, and 2. My long shot's going to be great stuff. Not really a long shot here to find it, but I think Chip Leader's really interesting just because I'm really high on Rated R Superstar. This horse ran extremely well, controlled the entire race on the lead last time. I like how Jose Ortiz is in the irons as well. This horse gets to the lead. I think the cutback will be pretty useful for this horse and into the advantage. So I went with Chip Leader on top here. I went 4, 3, 7, and 2.
I went 2, 3, 4 in the 5 as my long shot in here. I think Shaft of Light. I know we're not going to get Arad Ortiz Jr. aboard. He's been aboard last time out. Again, that was a really impressive race on the undercard of Charlestown Classic Day. Arad goes out west, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on as he's out in Santa Anita for a couple big ones. But you get Jose Ferrer, who's been absolutely dominant down at Monmouth so far, 30% down there, 9 for 30. Again, this horse, you're right in the aspect of this. The 4 is going to go closer to the lead, but on the stretch out for Shaft of Light, you have to believe he's going to show even more speed, and Chip Leader is going to be probably sitting second going into the first turn. I think Shaft of Light could easily go wire and wire this spot, especially off that last one going 7 furlongs. I don't think the stretch out should be a problem. Underneath number 3, Sunny Ridge, a horse that's been running back-to-back second-place performances, has raced against Graded Stakes Company and done pretty decent against that, notably back in 2016, but again, the recent form of this horse for Jason Service, who's done quite well down there as well, have the horse in the second spot, and then your horse, Chip Leader, that you have on top, I have in the third spot. I think this horse isn't going to get the lead, but has been close the last couple nice back-to-back second-place finishes, again, against a nice horse who you like a lot and Rated R Superstar, so I think this horse has a chance in here as well under Jose Ortiz. My long shot play, Indian Guide, 15-1. This horse is light on class, going to need a lot of things to go right, but will be coming from the back. Does have a win over the surface, and again at 15-1, if something falls apart, some reason the pace is too quick, and a couple of these don't like the track surface, I think the 5 has an interesting shot in here at 15-1 to at least round out the tries and supers in here at a big price. All right, on to race number 12, the big one on Saturday at Monmouth. It's the Grade 2 Monmouth Cup, mile and an eighth on the turf. $200,000 purse, and this is a really nice field of 7 horses in here, and a couple of them were actually scheduled last week for undercard of Preakness Day, but with the weather that happened down there, they kind of had this as their plan B and ended up filling out this spot in here. We'll go with number 1, Murad Khan, a horse that predominantly had been running overseas, did try the North American debut down at Gulfstream back in February, didn't do much running that day against Ring Weekend and Profiteer, but second time out down at Gulfstream, did win a 2 other than optional claimer. Very impressively from off the pace. Last time out, stepped up against Stakes Company at Laurel Park and ran a flat 4th to me. If you're looking at overall body of work, this horse could wake up and potentially be a try and super horse in here, but at 12-1 on the morning line, I think that's fair. I'm not sure if I could use this horse as a win candidate, though.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a win candidate. I actually think the stretch out is going to help this horse a little bit. This horse was flying last time out in that stakes race. A little bit longer of a race, I think, wins that race. So I think the stretch out is a really nice play for the connections here. Pretty consistent buyers. Went from 81 to a 93, and then 88. As I said, that was a really nice race last time out. But as a win candidate, I agree with you. I could not use as a win candidate.
Number 2, Projected, going out for Chad Brown. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard. This horse last time out reappeared off of a long layoff on April 8th at Aqueduct, going a mile in that stakes race. Got a 99 buyer, finished second, only being at a length and a quarter to Fire Away. Again, I thought the top 3 that day, Fire Away, Projected, and Motown, all ran really good races. Projected had to go 5-6 wide going into the turn and closed really well. I think on the stretch out to the mile and eighth should only help this horse. Does seem to be enough speed in here for Projected to kind of sit off of it and come with a nice late closing kick, second off the layoff. You get Chad Brown, Judd Mott, Jose Ortiz, 3-1 on the Moorland. I don't think we're going to get that price, but but there's a lot to like here.
Definitely not going to get that price. And the one concern you could have with this horse has been closing into some pretty quick fractions in the half mile the last 2 starts, but this horse is definitely going to get bet down. But as I said, this horse is racing on some solid competition and should have won some of those. It raced against Heart to Heart twice, World Approval, Battle Rocks, Fire Away. So, you get Chad Judman and Jose Ortiz. A lot of things to like with the number 2.
And it's worth noting that Fire Away last weekend, even though it was scheduled for the turf and washed did win. So it should only flat or projected. Again, sometimes I know it's different surfaces, but the fact that Fire Away is in such good form, you have to kind of use it to your advantage in here, and it's only going to help projected in this spot. On to number 3, Money Multiplier, going out for Chad Brown, another Chad Brown trainee. Joe Bravo is going to be aboard at 5-2 on the morning line. This horse, to me, doesn't win very often, but is a gamer for the Chad Brown barn. Last time out, actually went overseas when was claimed by an overseas trainer. Then went back into the Chad Brown barn. And again, we know this name. Faced Heart to Heart back in February in that Grade 1 Gulfstream Park turf. Finished 7th, only beaten 3 lengths. This horse has a plethora of 100-plus buyers. Going to need to get back into the ways of this horse that was running back in 2017 and 2016. But again, off that encouraging third-place performance overseas, going 1.5 miles on the cutback to the 1 1/8, I think this horse is a contender.
Yeah, I have the horse right in the mix. Out of the 2 Chad horses, I would go with projected over, but I'm still going to play with both of these. I think the horse, the win in the 2 starts here at Monmouth is going to help this horse. And as you said, this horse is raced against some solid horses. I didn't think it was a bad performance 2 starts back. Took a lot of money there at Gulfstream Park, and also raced against the likes of Beach Patrol and Sadler's Joy, Highland Reel as well. So this horse is racing against some solid fields, and I thought in the Sword Dancer that was just a great performance at Saratoga last summer. Just needs to revert back to how it ran, and I think if it makes a little bit more of an earlier move, I think this horse could be dangerous closing.
Number 4 is Divisadero, going out for Kelly Rubley, 4-1 on the morning line. And again, this is another name that we know from years past. Predominantly, it was running in Grade 1 events last year in 2017. Wasn't really good in the last 3. Did have that 4th place finish last time we saw this horse in the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf against Sagewa, Heart to Heart. Haven't seen this horse since October, though. Is actually in the Kelly Rubley barn for the first time. The workouts have been okay. 4-1 to me, though, seems a little bit short in here, and that's why I ultimately couldn't use this horse. But I wouldn't be shocked to see this horse off the layup run a big race.
Yeah, I think off the layup will be a little bit beneficial for this horse. Last time the horse had a layoff was a little bit of a layoff was from February to April. It came in second that day. This is just a little bit longer of a layoff, but I still think this horse closing on a little bit of a stretch out from 1 mile. This horse could make some noise here closing. There is a lot of closers here with the 2 Chads, and with this horse, the Kelly Rubley horse, the Divisadero. I have the horse right up in my mix. I think can run a big race. I think at 4-1, I think is a fair price, but I agree. Just like to see the horse get up a little bit more on the odd side.
Number 5 is Force the Pass, going out for Alan Goldberg. Paco Lopez is going to be aboard 9-2 on the morning line. And again, kind of the same kind of trend as Money Multiplier and Divisadero. This horse wasn't seen for a year and a half. Actually was running back in 2016 very well against some great estates company. Notably won the Grade 1 Belmont Derby on July of 2015. And again, we didn't see this horse for a year and a half. Reappeared on May 5th at Monmouth in a stakes race, going 1 mile. Sat just off of the pace there. Was able to get up, win that race by a nose. Got a decent 89 buyer. Again, off that year and a half layoff, I didn't think that was a bad effort at all. You like to see this horse go in this Grade 3 event, and does have some back class. Again, going back to the races that this horse ran back in 2016, that would make this horse a player in here. 9-2 is fair. You get Paco aboard, has been winning on everything down at Monmouth. I think this horse is a contender.
Yeah, I definitely think this horse is a contender here, and I might be kicking myself not having the horse in my mix, but as you said, I think the second off the layoff, this horse is going to run a huge layoff. After this horse has ran, I thought had a really nice season, and at Belmont, especially in the Naira circuit, I thought ran huge in the 4-star. Dave took a lot of money, lost to a really nice horse. Raced against Black Type. Black Type has been running huge in the Naira circuit as well. So I agree. I think this horse is very interesting with Paco Lopez aboard. It's going to sit right off the pace, 3 or 4 lengths off, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Paco, or where Paco places the horse.
Number 6 is Dr. Mounty going out for Shug McGahee. Antonio Gallardo is going to be aboard 8-1 on the morning line. This horse was off a little bit of a freshening last time out at Laurel. Going that mile distance in the stakes race, finished second, nice closing second, only beaten 3/4 of a length, got a nice 93 buyer. The workouts have been quite solid at Belmont since then. A nice bullet work on May 12th, 47-4 for that 4 furlongs. Again, though, it's one of those situations where is the horse going to use the speed that this horse used back in mid-2017 or going to use the off-the-pace tactics we saw last time out? There seems to be a lot of horses that are closing in this spot. And I'm not sure if that's going to be the way that they're going to want to do it connection-wise with Dr. Mounty.
Yeah, this is a big question marks here. And getting Antonio Gallardo to come up for Shug, I think it's going to help. He ran that horse, I thought, pretty decently at Tampa Bay, especially picking up that win. I'm going to scratch out that grade 3 event against World Approval. But the 1-for-1 at the distance is nice to see. Stretching back out, I think, is going to help this horse. Again, a lot of closing speed in this race. I had to go a different direction with the closing speed, but it's going to be interesting at the top of the lane.
Number 7 is Frostmore going out for Christophe Clement. Joel Rosario is going to be aboard 4-1 on the morning line. And I know you liked this horse last week. Was actually scratched out when the race was taken off of the turf. But this horse is going to be a player. Ran the career best 101 buyer last time out. That was a 5th place performance in the Grade 1 Makers 46 mile. Again, that was to Heart to Heart, who's been terrific and in really good form. Ballet Rocks was also in that race. This horse goes back to that 2-back race, winning that optional claimer down at Gulfstream Park. Again, is going to be more forwardly placed in the closers in here, so should get first jump on those closers. If Joel's able to work out a trip and hold him off, seems to be a big player in here.
Yeah, I have the horse on top just because I liked the horse last time out, and I also like how this horse ran against Yoshida. I liked Yoshida on Derby Day. Yoshida won on Derby Day. So this horse's race against, I think, much better in this field. It was really competitive, as you said, last time out against Heart to Heart. And Heart to Heart's just on a different level right now. I think this horse fits in nicely here. You're getting a really nice price at 4-1.
All right, you already alluded to your top pick.
Yeah.
But who do you like as far as a complete 1, 2, 3?
I went Frostmorn on top, and I'm going to take a shot with the Visidero. I think the stretch out might be a little bit useful for this horse. This horse was flying last time out against a really nice horse in Say Dois and Heart to Heart. Also, out of the 2 Chads, I'm going to go with Projected and Jose Ortiz there. Juddmonte Connections. Wouldn't surprise me if Money Multiplier comes back and bites me. Force the Pass might come back to bite me as well. But my long shot at little bit of a price might go down, might go up. His Visidero hopefully goes up because I think this horse is going to run big. Hopefully, is going to get a better price than 4-1.
I have a couple different horses, but we both agree that we're going to take a shot against Money Multiplier in here. I went 5-2-7. My long shot's going to be the 6. Use number 5, Force the Pass, a horse that was coming off that 1.5-year layoff, won last time out, sitting close to the pace, and I like the fact that just like what Sully likes in Frostmorn, you're going to see Force the Pass sitting closer to the pace than the closers in here. Then he's going to get first jump on him. Then he just scored second off of a very long layoff. I like the encouraging race last time out. 13 for 14 in the money. So whether you like the horse on top or not at all, you have to use the horse in the mix because he is 13 for 14 in the money lifetime. Underneath number 2 Projected, I think of the Chad Brown horses. I like this horse a little bit more. Last time out, reappeared off a little bit of a layoff against Fire Away. Again, we noted Fire Away won last weekend. I think Projected looks to be well spotted in here. Another one that's going to be closing for the Chad Brown barn. Jose Ortiz aboard, and then Frostmore, a horse you like. I think he's going to be closer to the pace. Again, I think race dynamics-wise, you have to use a horse that's going to be closer to the pace in here. Seems to be a lot of closing speed, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do that on Saturday. Underneath the 6 is a long shot for me, Dr. Mounty. Don't really like as a win candidate, but I think this horse could kind of round in there for the tries and supers. 8-1 on the morning line, going out for Shug and Antonio Gallardo aboard. Like the workout pattern, nice second-place performance last time out. So we'll see what happens. A very competitive Grade 2 race at Monmouth as the feature is the Monmouth Stakes in here. All right, that's going to take us to our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at all the action out west at Santa Anita.
Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit CapitalOTB.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System. never get shut out again.
Welcome back to the Capital OTB Stakes preview for this upcoming weekend. Took a look at a couple big ones at Monmouth on Saturday. Take a look now at Santa Anita out in the west as we take a look at 3 as they have a huge card out there on Saturday. Starting out with race number 6 on the card. It's the Charles Whittingham, a Grade 2 event, $200,000 purse. They're going to go 1.25 miles on the turf. And it looks to be an 8-horse field in here. We'll go with number 1, though, in numerical order as we always do. Number 1, Flamboyant, going out for Pat Gallagher, who's a little cold as far as the trainer stat goes right now. 0 for 20 so far as wins. Has been on the money, 5 of them. But again, a little bit of a cold trainer stat right now. Flamboyant, 4-1 on the morning line. Brice Blanc is going to be aboard. Last time raced at Golden Gate in the Grade 3 San Francisco. Came from off of the pace, was 6.5 back, 10th place. Came flying late to get up, win that race by a neck. Beat a couple decent horses in there. Got a 99 buyer. I think on the stretch out should help this horse. And does have class over the field. Has raced in multiple Grade 1 and Grade 2 events. Finds this a decent spot in here with an odds-on favorite of It's in the Post, who's deserved it at 6-5. But as far as anybody else, Flamboyant definitely fits in here at 4-1.
Yeah, I definitely does fit in here. And then I agree. I think the stretch out is going to be huge for this horse. And you know, as you said, ran huge at Golden Gate, and then it's going to go back to Santa Anita, where the horse did not run terrible at all, and actually ran quite well 3 starts back, and came in second that day behind It's in the Post. So I think at 4-1, this horse can be a serious play here, especially with the closing speed. There are other closers in this race, but just a little bit cold of a trainer stat, as you already alluded to, which is why I didn't ultimately have the horse on top.
Number 2 is Full of Luck, going out for Jerry Hollendorfer. Drayden Van Dyke's going to be aboard at 12-1 on the morning line. This horse is actually dual entered, is actually also entered in the Gold Cup, so we'll see, and kind of be interesting to see, because this horse does have dirt form and also has turf form. Predominantly raced over in Chile on the turf, had a nice 3-race win streak going into the North American debut, where this horse raced on the turf at Golden Gate in the San Francisco, was actually the favorite in that race and didn't do any running against Flamboyant, who we just touched upon. Then they switched this horse to the dirt in the Grade 2 Californian. Showed speed, ended up finishing 4th, but to Dr. Doro, who's going to be in the race in the Gold Cup. So we'll see what happens in here. I think this horse is interesting going back to the turf, if that's what they ultimately do. Was 8 for 15 as far as win goes down in Chile, and then they were running some stakes races as well. So I like this horse as a little bit of a long shot in here. It's actually going to be my long shot play. Wouldn't be surprised to see this horse run an encouraging race, but also we got to figure out which race this horse is actually going to go in.
Right, and you know, it's funny you say that because my long shot play in the Gold Cup is Full of Luck. So hopefully one of us is right in the long shot play. So I think the closing speed, as you already kind of alluded to, it's serious. It's very interesting, and I like the distance with this horse. This horse loves the distance. Has ran in the money 6 of 7 times with 5 wins. It's going to make the second start here at Santa Anita, I think, will improve much more than we saw in the California last time out.
Number 3 is Frank Conversation. Doug O'Neill, Mario Gutierrez, 8-1 on the morning line. This horse raced last time against the likes of the 1 and number 2 in here in that Grade 3 San Francisco Grade 3 event. Showed speed, finished 6th that day to Flamboyant, who was ultimately the winner that day. This horse is going to be forwardly placed. The 1.25 miles, this horse has finished twice in the money at the distance. Doesn't have a victory. To me, maybe a horse that could potentially try to wire him in here, hang on for a piece, but that seems to be the limit for this horse.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for here. I use this horse as my long shot in this race. Just hopefully it can get to a piece of the top 3 or 4 to complete some exacta triples or supers. And this horse has raced against some solid horses throughout the career. I like this horse going back to Santa Anita. I think will be a lot more forwardly placed than people would think, and it's going to show on paper. I think might even try to get to the lead, but probably won't get it. So that's why I think the forwardly placed is going to be it's going to be the correct spot here for Mario Gutierrez.
Probably not going to get it because we're going to talk about number 4 right now, and What of You, who will be going to the lead. I don't think anybody's going to try to challenge this horse. Going out for Ken Black. And also Stuart Elliott's going to be aboard. This horse predominantly goes to the lead, can set quick fractions, and hang on occasionally at the mile distance. The problem is stretching out to 1.25 miles. I'm not so sure if this horse is going to like the distance at all. Has actually never tried it. Normally, this horse has faded of recent. Did, though, last time out, run an encouraging race at the mile distance. Was able to hang on to win that race by neck. Horse for the course, 7 for 14 as far as wins goes. 10 for 14 with first and second place finishes at Santa Anita. But again, it's all about the distance and the applied pressure. If number 3, Frank Conversation, kind of gets into this horse early, I think it's going to be kind of donezo for What Have You.
Yeah, I agree. That's the one question mark I had here was just the distance for this horse. That's why I ultimately could not use. But horse can wire the field. We've seen this horse wire fields and run very competitively with some fast fractions. So don't be alarmed if you like this horse, especially if you see some fast fractions. But I agree with you. I think the distance is just too big of a question mark to use.
Number 5 is Kenji Storm going out for Phil D'Amato, who's been ultimately hot down across the country at Santa Anita. 26% so far as the win percentage goes. Flavian's going to get aboard. This horse won 2 back in an optional claimer at Santa Anita going the mile distance. Was able to sit just off of the speed that day and able to kick clear by 2 1/4. Last time out faced Graded Stakes Company in the Grade 3 American race down at Santa Anita. Showed a little bit of speed, was close to the race, but wasn't able to ultimately get to What Have You, who we just touched upon. That was going a mile distance. I think on the stretch out to 1 1/4. This horse does have 1 try at the distance. Nice, solid second-place performance. This horse has been knocking on the door. I think this horse could put in an encouraging effort. 8-1 is quite appealing.
Yeah, it really is appealing, the 8-1. I think the stretch out is going to help this horse just a little bit. Looked like this horse was going to get by last race against some pretty quick fractions, just couldn't do it. Already has a try here at the distance as well, and seems to like the Santa Anita surface. Is running the money 7 of 12 times lifetime. I think it's a good play if you want to use this horse underneath for some triples and supers.
Number 6 is the morning line favorite, heavy morning line favorite. That's It's in the Post, going out for Jeff Mullins. And again, another trainer stat. It seems to be cold right now. 1 for 23 at Santa Anita so far for Jeff Mullins. But again, this horse has been quite dominant of recent. Tyler Bay is going to be aboard as predominantly the jockey for It's in the Post. And last time out, finished third, only beaten 3/4 of a length to One Go Algo, who time and time again is just gutsy in performance. Finished a solid third last time out at Belmont. That was One Go Algo. But this horse was on a 3-race winning streak, 2, 3, and 4 starts back. 100-plus buyers time and time again. Horse for the course theory again. 7 wins and 16 starts at Santa Anita. The only question to me is the cutback to 1 1/4. This horse is going to have to not sit so far back because there does seem to be some speed in here that could potentially wire in here. Be interesting to see if It's in the Post can kind of get a little bit more forwardly placed on the cutback with a lot of speed in here.
Yeah, this is I think it's going to be tough to beat this horse, and as you said, the closing speed is going to be helpful. The cutback, I think, is going to be great for this horse. Just really couldn't catch One Go Algo last time. Took a lot of money in that race. Took a lot of money 2 and 3 starts back, and it's been taking a lot of money throughout the career. So horse for the course as well. I think it might be tough to beat this horse on the cutback with the closing speed.
Number 7 is Ritzy AEP going out for Dan Blackner. Gary Stevens is going to be aboard, 21 on the morning line. This horse is going to show some speed in here as well. Last time out went the 1 1/8 distance that they're going to go on Saturday in a 2 other than optional claimer. Showed speed all the way to about the wire and got nipped by Multiplier, who's a decent horse. Finished third that day, beating a neck on a 92 buyer. But again, race dynamics-wise, What Have You seems to be a much more classier horse in here. And also Frank Conversation. I'm not sure if race dynamic-wise, Ritzy AP is going to be able to do much in here.
Yeah, I agree. It just doesn't fit. It is not the right fit for this horse. I like the connections. I like Gary Stevens, and I like Dan Blacker as well. He really has been improving as a trainer as well. He's been competitive in a lot of his races in 2018. It doesn't look great on the win column, but he really has been competitive, and this horse has been competitive in every race it's raced at Santa Anita throughout the career. But I agree. I just think it might be a little bit too tough, especially jumping back up in the Greatest Stakes Company. And this is a really nice field. It's just going to be a lot for this horse.
Number 8 is Syntax going out for Phil D'Amato, another Phil D'Amato trainee. You're going to get Giovanni Franco aboard at 4-1 on the morning line. This horse back-to-back fourth-place finishes. 2 back in the Frank Kilroy that we talked about against Bowie's Hero and Next Shares, and then last time out finished 4th. Only beaten a length and a half. Nice closing kick against Flamboyant in that race that we've talked about multiple times, the Grade 3 San Francisco handicap at Golden Gate. Time and time again, is very consistent as far as buyers goes, right around 93, 96, somewhere right in that range. But again, it's going to need to make that next step forward if it wants to get to where the big guns would be classified at about 101 or 102. If you're a buyer's player, this horse definitely needs to improve.
Does need to improve, and another horse that I think is going to be interesting at the 1.25 mile distance. Ran okay 3 starts back at the 1.25 mile with Rafael Bejarano up. And you're going to have Franco up for the 3rd time. I think he's going to be a little bit more forwardly placed. Tried that last time out. The horse ran great in a Grade 1 event at a huge price. Came in 4th that day from 11 lengths off. Tried to be more forwardly placed last time. Just could not get to the wire first. Lost by a length and a half. So I think this horse is more forwardly placed. Can be interesting from the outside stall.
All right, pick time here in the Grade 2, Charles Whittingham.
I think it's going to be tough to beat. It's in the post. I have that horse on top. Just the closing speed this horse has shown, and this horse is raced against much better. Loves the Santa Anita surface as well. I went with number 8 in the 2nd spot. I think if this horse is more forwardly placed, which I believe it will be, this horse is very interesting at 4-1. Taking a shot here with Kenchestrom in the 3rd spot. I think this is another horse on the lead that I possibly could hang on here to get a piece. Seems to like the Santa Anita surface. Does have experience at the distance as well from 3 starts back. Also, my long shot in here is going to be Frank Conversation. Let's see if those 2 speed horses can hang on to complete tries and supers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see It's in the Post get the job done again in here. Has been razor sharp. I'm going to go with Syntax, though, the 8 at 4-1. I like what you said there. Is going to be on the stretch out to the 1.25 mile distance. Last time this horse stretched out, ran a nice solid second, 2 in the post. Was only a length off, was flying late, just got caught by the wire in there. Ran a career best 97 buyer. I think this horse didn't like the mile distance the last 2 starts, and I think on the stretch out should be much more able to get the job done in here at 4-1. We'll see if that's going to be able to happen on Saturday. Underneath the 6, It's in the Post. Horse that's been running time and time again superbly well. 7 wins, 16 starts at Santa Anita. Should be sitting the ideal trip in here. Wouldn't be shocked at 6-5 see that horse win. And then number 1, Flamboyant. One last time out in that Grade 3 race at Golden Gate. I think this horse is going to be flying late as well. Runs really well at Santa Anita as well. 6 times in the money in 13 starts. My long shot play is going to be full of luck. I know that's your long shot play as we talk about the Gold Cup here in a second. But we're going to be interested to see where this horse goes. But it's versatile enough to be a long shot play in both of the races. That's how good we think the horse could potentially be. 12-1 on the morning line in this spot. We'll see if this horse goes in there, uses my long shot play. All right, we'll talk about the 5th race on Saturday at Santa Anita now. It's the Grade 1 Gold Cup. $500,000 purse, 1.25 miles for 3-year-olds. And we'll start out with number 1, Little Scotty, going out for Vladimir Sarin. Asa Espinosa is going to be aboard, and he's been terrific so far. If you haven't heard the name at Santa Anita, definitely take a look at him. He's been turning some heads. This horse is 15-1 on the morning line. Won a claiming race 2 starts back in an off-the-turf event. Then stepped up against optional claimers in that 1-other-than spot. Won that race, showed speed, ended up going clear by 7 lengths. Got a nice 94 buyer. Now steps up into against the big boys in here in this Grade 1 Gold Cup. Seems to be the biggest acid test of acid tests in here. But it's interesting, a horse that's going to show some speed, and nonetheless, whether you think the horse is going to be in the mix or not, and I don't have the horse in my mix, is going to be a player as far as race dynamics-wise goes in here, because City of Light and Dr. Door, who both have shown speed in here, they're going to have to deal with Little Scotty early.
They are, and just the last 2 starts were really, they were very, very impressive, and this horse took a lot of money last time out, and really impressive win there. So I agree. I just think the jump is just too big going out for a trainer that's over 14 in graded stakes this year. But winning last time out, he's winning 25% of his starts, which is a nice stat to see. And Espinosa is riding incredible at Santa Anita. So wouldn't surprise me to see this horse make it very, very interesting at a very big price.
Number 2 is Accelerate, going out for John Sadler. Victor Espinosa is going to be aboard. And again, you just see the Espinosa name, you automatically assume it's Victor Espinosa, but now you have to distinguish between Asa and Victor. Accelerate's going to be 2-1 on the morning line last time out. Finished second, beating a neck to City of Light, who's going to be the favorite in here. But again, has been razor sharp. Last 4 starts, 2 victories, 2 second-place finishes. Has gotten 100-plus buyers in all 4 of those races. Again, he's going to be sitting just off of the speed in here. There does seem to be a lot. Little Scotty's going to go. City of Light potentially could go, and Dr. Doro's definitely going to go in here. And it's going to be interesting to see, but Accelerate looks to get the kind of dream trip in here. And off the recency of this horse, betting the money 9 of 10 starts at Santa Anita, you have to use this horse in the mix.
Yeah, I think you got to use this horse in the mix as well. And this horse seems to really like this Santa Anita surface and has ran 3 really nice races as well. So definitely a horse that you need to use in your mix. 2-1 seems like a very the morning line price seems to be very fair for this horse. And as I said, just the buyers alone, it's hard to believe that they improve, but they really do week by week.
Number 3 is Prince of Arabia, going out for James Cassidy. Got a little bit of a cold trainer stat right now, 0 for 21 as far as victories goes at Santa Anita. Stuart Elliott's going to be aboard, 12-1 on the morning line. Won impressively in an optional claimers, 2 starts back, going the mile and 16th distance here at Santa Anita. Last time out, raced against Stakes Company against Dr. Door. Finished second, beaten 7 1/4. Again, Dr. Door was a runaway winner that day. Took it to him early and was able to pull away late. Didn't think that was a bad effort at all, but it's going to need to progress forward. But if you're looking at race dynamics, this horse is a stone cold closer. There looks to be a lot of speed on the stretch out to 1 1/4. It may actually help Prince of Arabia.
Yeah, I think it will. And, I like Stuart Elliott as well. I think he's a very nice rider there. And he's always on these big price horses that seem to run big. And last time out, this horse really didn't get any respect jumping up to that graded stakes. As, it's tough to do from an optional claiming level. And this horse closing, I think it can make some noise here. Just really didn't get the closing trip that we were used to seeing from 2 starts back last time out, but that was a really nice field. So I think it'd be a little bit more competitive in this graded stakes for the second time, back-to-back stakes. But I think it's just a little bit over its head here because there are some nice closers in this race.
Number 4 is City of Light, the morning line favorite, 9-5 on the morning line. Mike McCarthy, Drayden Van Dyke. This horse stretched out last time out, was on a win streak sprinting, stretched out at Oaklawn in the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap. Again, very impressive. Got a 107 buyer, won that race by a neck, beating Accelerate that day and also Untrapped. This horse has done nothing wrong. 7 lifetime starts, 4 wins, 3 second-place finishes. And again, is the winner of the Malibu at 7 furlongs, stretched out last time out. The workout on May 19th, very solid, going 6 furlongs. You don't really have to question the fact that this horse is going to like 1 1/4 because he's answered the 2-turn test emphatically last time out. It's the problem of, is this horse going to get caught up into a little bit of a pace battle, or is this horse going to be able to sit off like last time, used a different element last time, sitting off the pace, and was able to make a move around the far turn?
Yeah, I think they're going to do the same exact thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this horse just keeps to improve these buyers as well. And as you said, the work's really impressive for this horse. If this horse wants to get to the lead, and if it doesn't get to the lead, it's going to sit right off you, push the pace, and then go by you. So I think it's going to be tough to beat this horse. And as you said, this horse has done nothing wrong throughout 7 lifetime starts.
Number 5 is Dr. Door, going out for Bob Beffert. Joe Talamo is going to be aboard, 5-2 on the morning line. This horse is on a 3-race winning streak, including last time out, getting that 108 buyer, career best, going clear by 7 1/4, beating Prince of Arabia, who we talked about, the number 3 horse. This horse is going to be sitting just off of the speed, which looks to be Little Scotty breaking from the rail. We'll see where City of Light kind of tracks those horses and also Accelerate could potentially sit the pocket trip in here. But Dr. Door is going to get first jump on those horses in here, and if that's the case, this horse has done nothing wrong, looking for 4 in a row. Looks to kind of get the jump on him at the top of the stretch as a contender at 5-2.
Yeah, and this is one of those other horses that either gets the job done or doesn't hit the board. And this horse, 11 starts, 5 wins, and has run third once. So I think can possibly win. I have the horse on top, so hopefully this horse can win 4 in a row here. It really was impressive last time out. I think it's going to handle this race extremely well for Bob Baffert. Also, you're getting a really nice price at 5-2, with most of the attention going to go to City of Light.
Number 6 is Pavel, going out for Doug O'Neill. Mario Gutierrez, 5-1 on the morning line. This horse raced in the Dubai World Cup last time out at Meydan over in United Arabs. Finished 4th to Thunder Snow, West Coast. We remember that race. Mutahish finished 3rd. I didn't think that was a bad effort again. Thunder Snow was so impressive. West Coast, those 2 horses kind of dominated that race in there. Again, everybody was kind of plotting along. I thought Pavel ran. I'm not sure what kind of 4th place finish that was. We'll see on Saturday if this horse is able to come back. But again, has been bet down time and time again. Hasn't hit the board in 4 starts. And again, off of that layoff, hasn't been seen since March 31st. I had to take a pass. He's going to need to prove it to me.
Yeah, I took a pass as well here. And Pavel's one of those horses that I always use in multiples because I don't have the horse. The horse is going to come in at a decent price. But this horse always takes money, as you said. And came in 4th 3 starts in a row. It's taken money 3 starts in a row as well. To me, I passed as well. But it has been working okay since that Dubai World Cup.
Number 7 is Full of Luck, the horse that we talked about that's dual entered. Jerry Hollendorfer, Flavien Prat, 15-1 on the morning line for this horse who raced last time out on a dirt surface, going 1 mile and an eighth. Finished 4th, showed speed that day to Dr. Dora and also Prince of Arabia. Didn't think that was a bad effort, got a 96 buyer. Well, again, we're going to see where this horse kind of goes in here, but it has shown some nice races over in Chile on the turf course. No problem with the distance of 1.25 miles, where a couple of these, the 1.25 miles looks a little shaky. Full of Luck's going to be able to get that distance.
Yeah, I know that this is definitely the play. It's not going to be an issue here. That's why I like this horse as a long shot in here. Flavien Prat's going to stay in the irons for 3 starts in a row if Hollendorfer decides to enter in the Gold Cup. But to me, it wouldn't surprise me if the horse scratched out of this race and went into the other race, dual entered. This horse seems to run better on the grass anyway, so that's why I have it as my long shot in here. I think this horse can make some noise on the dirt, especially the second time out at Santa Anita on the dirt.
Very competitive Gold Cup. What do you like?
I think it's going to be tough to beat City of Light, but I'm going to try to. I think Dr. Dora might just be a little bit ignored in this spot, especially with the speed out front. Really impressive win last time out. Second spot, City of Light. This horse wouldn't surprise me at all if it wires the field, completely tires out Dr. Dora and goes by from a stalking roll. And then number 2, I'm taking the 3 top choices, but they seem to be the 3 logical choices here. I think Accelerate as well with Victor Espinoza closing. I couldn't play on top at 2-1, just could not leave out of the top 3 though. But my long shot, as I already said, is Full of Luck.
Literally the same exact 4 horses for me, 5, 4, 2, and 7. Have them in the same exact order. I agree with you. I think Dr. Dora is an interesting horse that's going to be closer to the pace than City of Light and also Accelerate. We'll see if he's able to hang on for 4 in a row with Val Baffert, who's been winning on everything. Obviously has Justify, the Triple Crown candidate going into a couple weeks from now in the Belmont Stakes. We'll see. He's got a good one, though, in Dr. Dora. Underneath City of Light, he's looking for 4 in a row as well. Stretched out last time to going the 2-turn distance at Oaklawn. Was very impressive, beating Accelerate that day. I'm not sure the 1.25 miles is exactly ideal for this horse, but I don't think it's also going to be a problem. I don't think this is why this horse is going to lose. So we'll see if City of Light can put in a really good effort again, try to make it 4 in a row. And then Accelerate, a horse that finished second last time to City of Light. This horse has just been a gutsy time in and time again, in the money, 9 of 10 here at Santa Anita, so much to use as far as exotics goes. And then my long shot play is going to be Full of Luck. It's also going to be my long shot play if he's dual entered and goes in the other race that we just talked about as well. So we'll see what happens here in the Gold Cup. But we are through 4 races on this stakes preview. When we come back, we'll take a look at the 5th and completing one. That's the Grade 1 game.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
Gamely, 1 mile and an eighth on the turf at Santa Anita. Grade 1 event, $300,000 purse for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Number 1 is Madame Dancelot, going out for Richard Baltus, Corey Nakatani, 7-2 on the morning line. This horse won the Grade 2 Santa Ana last time at Santa Anita, very impressive. And then went to Churchill Downs on the Kentucky Derby undercard. Finished 7th, beaten 4 1/4 to Proctor's Legend on leave. Again, that was over a good surface. I think this horse is better on firm going, and that's what we're probably going to see on Saturday. The workout since then was pretty good. I think this horse is underneath contender.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an underneath contender here. The closing speed is one thing that you have to pay attention to with this horse, especially on the route races on the grass. To me, I thought the race was set up perfectly for this horse. Was sitting 11th by 8 lengths. Pretty quick opening quarter, and then the half was slowed down a little bit at the mile distance. Really couldn't get by anybody. So it lost to a really nice horse in Proctor's Ledge last time out. No shame of losing the Daddy's Little Darling or La Cornell, especially at Keeneland. La Cornell was, I think, 4 for 4 at Keeneland going into this spring. So I think it's an outside chance for a closing speed. I couldn't use in my mix. I think there's just a little bit better here.
Number 2 is Midnight Crossing, another Richard Baltus trainee. Brice Blanc is going to be aboard. Last time we saw this horse race in a Grade 2 event over the Santa Anita turf course, going a mile distance. Finished 8th, beaten 4 lengths to Beau Recall, who's going to be in here. and also Madame Stripes. Didn't think that was obviously the real Midnight Crossing, so I'm going to completely cross that race out. But you go back to a couple of races, including that 4-back win in that Grade 3 event here at Santa Anita. This horse is going to show speed in here. There doesn't seem to be an abundance of speed if you're taking a look at the overall body of work. For some reason, Midnight Crossing gets a little bit of an easy half in here. It's going to be tough to run down on a mile and eighth.
There definitely is not a lot of speed in this race. There is some speed with Hawksmoor and Mopatism, who we haven't talked about yet. But this horse, I think if it gets to the lead or sitting right off the pace, this horse has been pretty competitive doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the lead in the Gamely.
Number 3 is Mopatism, going out for Doug O'Neill, 10-1 on the morning line. Mario Gutierrez is going to be aboard, and this horse, all of starts has been on the dirt, fast track in here. Going to be interesting going to the turf course. As soon as I saw this race and we were kind of analyzing, I said, Mopatism on the turf. Going to be interesting. The form has tailed off a little bit, though. Did finish third last time against Fault in the Grade 1 Santa Margarita. That was going a mile and an eighth. I don't think the mile and eighth distance is going to be a problem. Going to the turf, though, is a little bit of an unknown, and this seems to be a serious test to kind of put this horse on the turf for the first time.
Definitely a lot to ask for here, but potentially could run okay on the grass. So we'll see what Gutierrez wants to do. This horse usually likes to get a stalking rule and then go by. I think we'll try to do that for the first time on the grass for Doug O'Neill. He seems to have a lot of entered in the stage races Saturday afternoon, and he's done okay, winning 10% of his graded stakes.
Number 4 is Sophie P. going out for James Cassidy. Ken Desormo is going to be aboard, 12-1 on the morning line. This horse predominantly has been racing overseas back in late 2017. Did face a nice horse in Neswa who came over to North America and did some nice things, notably up in Woodbine. Finished a solid second to Neswa back in Ayr over in Great Britain. Thought that was a solid performance. Made the North American debut, though, in a Grade 2 event on April 7th here at Santa Anita. Finished 6th, only beaten 3 lengths. Took a little bit of money that day against Bull Recall. I think this horse, second time in North America, could definitely improve. Is going to be my long shot play in here because I like European horses, but I'm not sure race dynamic-wise if this horse has a chance to win the race.
A horse that seems to run in the money a lot. All 20 career starts have been on the grass, is running the money 10 times, but I think can improve a little bit from that start first time in America. I think a little bit of a stretch will help this horse with the closing speed. I couldn't use him in my mix, but I could see why some people would try to use this horse and beat some of the lower priced horses.
Number 5 is Uni, going out for Chad Brown, 3-1 on the morning line, and this is the same connections of last year where they took Lady Eli over to the game lane. She was able to get the job done. Chad Brown's going to take a Uni over this time, who won last time out, off of a little bit of a layoff at Aqueduct. Won that race, sitting just off of the pace, beating a nice horse in 55, and also Stallion Eris. Got a 93 buyer, again on the stretch out to a mile and an eighth. I think this horse is the real deal. I like the setup of Chad. He's kind of targeted this race for the campaign of Uni, and I think this horse fits well in here. Is going to be my top choice ultimately.
Yeah, I use the same thing. They're not sending this horse over. They're not sending Arad Ortiz over for no reason. They're going to try to win. And as you said, did the same thing with Lady Eli. This is my top choice as well. You're getting a really nice price at 3-1, so definitely take advantage of that. I don't think we'll get 3-1, but hopefully we can get 3-1 for Chad, Arad Ortiz. And this horse just wants nothing to do with the lead. Maybe sit 5 or 6 lengths off and just close.
Number 6 is Bull Recall. Simon Callahan, Flavian Prop, 4-1 on the morning line. Raced last time in a Grade 2 event at Santa Anita. Was able to get the job done. Came from off the pace. Got up just to win by 3/4 of a length against Thundering Sky, Madame Stripes. Thought that was a good effort. On the stretch out to a mile and a quarter, though, or mile and an eighth, excuse me, is going to be interesting for this horse. Predominantly has been racing at the mile distance, and then last time, or 2 starts back, raced at the 6.5 distance. So on the stretch out back to the mile and an eighth, going to be interesting. Should be sitting about mid-pack. We'll see if Bull Recall is able to do what it did last time out. Another contender in here at 4-1.
Definitely another contender here. I have this horse sitting third in my mix. This horse is another closer. I think the closers will have their way with the speed.
Number 7 is Hawksmoor, going out for Arnold Delacour. 5-2 on the morning line, Julian Laperoux, and again, same kind of situation. They're not sending Julian, and Arnold Delacour has kind of targeted this race the entire time. 5-2 on the morning line for Hawksmoor. Last time out, finished second, only beaten a nose in a stakes race at Laurel that was going the mile and a distance. This horse is going to be forwardly placed time and time again. Sits either just off of it or takes the lead. Is going to have to deal with Midnight Crossing early and potentially Mopatism, but Speed is very dangerous with this horse. Has been in the money the last 6 starts. So we'll see if this horse is able to put in another good one. Again, Hawksmoor is going to be a big player in here.
Yeah, I had Hawksmoor in the mix as well, and I think the stretch out may help, especially if Hawksmoor could just slow down the pace a little bit. I think if he runs a 47 or if she runs a 47 in here, it's going to be tough for her to hang on in the front end. But I think if Julian can slow down the speed from up front, especially with a lot of the big names wanting to come off the pace, she could be pretty dangerous.
Number 8 is Madame Stripes, going off for Neil Drysdale. 6-1 on the morning line. Rafael Bejarano is going to be aboard. This horse, 20 lifetime starts, 4 wins, but has been in the money 14 of those 20 lifetime starts, including 8 for 10 here at Santa Anita. Last time out, finished 5th, only beaten 3 lengths at Churchill Downs. Goes back to Santa Anita now. Last time this horse raced at Santa Anita, finished 3rd, showed speed that day, only beaten a length and a quarter to Beau Recall. I think this horse has a chance to hang on there for supers and complete, the exotics portion of this race.
I could definitely see that, and it's going to be interesting to see what Rafael Bejarano does. Is he going to send this horse to the lead or sit from a stalking role? Because there doesn't seem to be an abundance of speed in this race. There's a couple names that want to get to the lead, but not much. Mostly, a lot of these horses want to come off the pace, so I think a better play would be to send this horse a little bit closer to the front.
All right, what are your picks here in the Grade 1 game lane?
I went with Uni on top. They're not sending Arad Ortiz and this horse over for no reason. This horse looked great too. The last 3 starts, even the last 5 starts, has looked terrific. Second spot went with number 7, Hawksmoor, Julian Leparoux. I think this is the one speed horse I trust out of all the speed horses in here. I just want Julian to slow down the pace a little bit. And then number 6, I think Beau Recall with Bobby and Brock could be a little interesting here with Simon Callahan. They're a great team together. Callahan's having a great Santa Anita meet as well. A really nice price on the 6, Beau Recall. Long shot in here is Mopatism. Going to be interesting to see how this horse likes the turf. You're getting a really nice price. Let's see if the experiment pays off for Mario Gutierrez and Doug O'Neill.
Yeah, I like Uni too. The number 5 horse in this spot, Chad Brown. Rod Ortiz Jr. did it last year, going to try to do it again this year. Like the closing quarter of Uni last time out, going sub 23 for that final quarter. So we'll see if this horse is able to stretch out to the 1.8 mile this time. I don't think that's going to be a concern at all. Seems to sit an ideal trip in here. 6 underneath, that's Beau Recall, 4-1 on the morning line. This horse won a Grade 2 event at Santa Anita last time out. Has run really well over the course 5 times in the money, including a couple of victories at Santa Anita. That horse looks to be very dangerous. Then Hawksmoor at 5-2 on the morning line. This horse is going to be forwardly placed and dangerous if on the lead. So we'll see if Hawksmoor is able to put a good race in here as well. And then the 4 is my long shot play in here. That's Sophie P, 12-1 on the morning line. Again, I like Euros. Faced Nezwa, a horse that I follow over in Europe time and time again. Finished 2nd to that horse last time out. Raced the North American debut. Didn't run awful, I think. Will be better, much better in here in this spot. A second time here in North America. 12-1, I'll use that horse, the number 4, Sophie P, as my long shot play. All right, that was our look at this weekend's action as we took a look at a couple at Monmouth and also took a look at 3 at a big race card at both Monmouth and Santa Anita. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week to talk some more. And then ultimately, 2 weeks from now, we'll be talking about Belmont Stakes weekend. And again, very exciting with Justify Triple Crown on the line. It's always great and very exciting. We'll be talking about that as we kind of get closer and closer. We'll talk about how the field's going to be playing out, and who's going to be in, who's going to be out. But again, thanks for tuning in this weekend. Good luck, and take care.